in a suffocation of darkness and blood. Barely illuminating the small oval-shaped chamber of the sanctum, we see it cluttered by stacks of ancient tomes, rolled of yellowed parchment and disturbed bedding, the sheets of which I think, unkempt, and trailed from the high metal mesh bunk to the floor. Off, off to the side of this, partially hidden behind this dirty hanging drapery, was a small dais, upon which rested a small sealed green metallic storage crate with the imperial eagle embossed on it. Before this knelt in supplicative medication was an older man with a gray beard wearing shabby brown robes, the ruddy light making him appear to be clad in gore. His old eyes were tightly shut, and he muttered under his breath a litany of subservience and devotion to the immortal protector of mankind. His mind grappled with himself, his prayers providing him with the focus and resolve to banish the voices that had come to him from outside since he had become old enough to comprehend them. They were always the same and simultaneously always unique. They offered him hidden truths and secrets long lost. They offered him power and strength so that he could live his life as very few men dared to. They even offered him pleasures beyond his imagination to conceive, the love and adoration of perfect female forms whose eyes burnt with the promise like stars in a night sky. They offered him his failing, aging body immortality, with a vigor that had long since been lost to him. All of the voices asked of him was that he say yes, and it could all be his. As he finished his litany, he felt it again, the light at his back driving back the voices, allowing his thoughts to return, a warm, guiding hand resting on his shoulder and gently leading him through the darkness, the home of the voices, and to the other side into material consciousness once more. It was wonderful, like being shepherded by the warm sun, but he knew better than to look back into the face of that sun, for surely he would burn. He loved the light. It felt like a father that would never abandon him as his own had done. But he loved the voices too for the things they revealed to him, the possibilities they teased him with. If it were not for the light, he would have been lost to the darkness from the very hour of his birth nearly a century ago. For he was a psyker, a freak of nature cursed to be sensitive to the touch of the immaterial, the warp. His parents had tried to hide his gifts from the world because they feared there were those that might harm him or take him away. But the subterfuge had been impossible. His gifts were far too profound to be concealed. At the age of 8, he had been revealed for what he was, and his father had been the first to denounce him as a monster when the people of his home had gathered into a mob. They surely would have beaten him to death before his parents' eyes had not the adept of the Scholastica Psychana and the armored giants with the glowing red eyes come to take him away from the hive world of his birth. He never did see his true parents again. He had wept for weeks, perhaps months, and was unwilling to speak with anyone, even the voices, until he was introduced to a new father, the Emperor of mankind. Mazree had come to love and fear him almost as much as he feared himself. The following years were consumed by a life of strict mental discipline, being drilled by countless masters to teach himself restraint and abstinence, to channel only in the service of mankind and resist the urges to bathe and gorge in the raw power that was open to him. He remembered his first ever lecture. The man as old as he was himself now, and twice as formidable, declaring the terrible truth of his existence and what was yet to come. They will call you mutant. They will call you freak. They will call you abomination. And they will be right. He had told the boy, ice blue eyes piercing into his own. He had begun to cry again and turned away to hide the boyish tears from his master. But an old cold hand laced with bronze rings on his fingers clamped down like a vice on his chin and tore his gaze back to him. You are damned, boy. as are all that study here. We forfeit our place in humanity by our very abhorrent nature. But the Emperor has need of us, and he will not turn his gaze from you unless you break faith with him. He was subjected to surgery before his age reached double digits. An installation of safeguarding mechanical implants would allow him to resist the pull of darkness. In those moments where his faith was not enough, when he needed to silence the voices that came, he was taught that to use the faith and the science that guided and guarded his soul from all-consuming damnation. He walked the edge of every day and night of his life. His litany now completed, he got slowly to his feet, grasping the side of the bunk to steady himself. His old knees and back were aching. It felt good to be reminded. It felt good. It reminded him that he was once more grounded in the material realm and not cast adrift in the ether. This place was grounded in rules, and rules had been a comfort to him all his life. It was a reminder of the warm guiding hand at his back. He dressed in his Primaris Psychona uniform, slowly, as all old men do, with aging fingers as he fumbled with a couple of clasps that secured the burnished sigilled breastplate beneath his brown greatcoat. He then returned to the dais and the green crate resting upon it. Mazree pressed a ring on his left index finger against the chill metal surface. The top slid open, and reaching within, he pulled out a tarnished bronze iron rod, 1 foot long and tipped with a glorious golden imperial eagle. He cradled it in both hands for a moment, as if it were as precious to him as a newborn babe. Then he held it out and pressed a hidden button on its length, and the rod extended another 4 feet and became a full-length staff. It crackled in his hands with a colorless power, though none but the old man could see it. He sighed as he felt himself connecting with all consciousness around him. The guardsmen, the staff officers, even the machine spirits of the war machines that kept the citadel. The war machines they kept in the citadel, and he heard them. With the light at his back once more, he cloaked himself in his faith and reason and closed the door on them one more time. He exited his sanctum, and the light from the corridor outside spilled in before the door closed again. Troopers stepped aside at his sudden appearance. He lowered the cowl on his old pale, balding head and strode down the corridor. Even as he left them behind, he heard them curse him as he went. "You could destroy them all," whispered the seductive one, a voice like silk drawn slowly against the skin. "And I would be yours forever, my love." Mazree continued on his way through the base, past the men drilling at their ranges with disciplined barking volleys of fire. "Get thee behind me," he whispered back. Okay. Mazree, I like that. That's a pretty good picture. It's a nice story of what it's like to be a psyker in the 40K setting. I really got a feeling of the picture of what was happening. I got a feeling of who he was, how he was raised, the harsh setting, but also like the constant temptation of what to do, and that even though he's very well tempted to do these things, and even though he's an old man, he's being tempted with eternal life, and this you still understand the reason why he's not falling to chaos, even though he's hated. If he's a Primaris Psyker, he's awfully powerful. So he is a one powerful dude. And that he voluntarily, he doesn't have to be constrained. That's something that I thought was very interesting. It's like he could seize all of this power and really wreck people if he wanted to. He could take over a planet himself if he's the level of psyker that I think he is. I don't think that they allow alpha psych. It's like you have Primaris Psychers are like the most powerful sanctioned Psychers. So if he embraced uh, all the bad stuff, he could be quite powerful. Not that he isn't. Um, but as far as the story goes, I thought it was very solid. Um, there's not a whole. There's a couple of just typing errors. Like I stumbled. I stumbled a couple times because I'm tired, and I stumbled a couple times because the wording was a little off, or like there was one part where like the word "the" was said twice in a row. There's like some minor stuff, but I really liked it. This is one of those ones where it accomplishes everything it sets out to do. Like, we get a pretty good picture of Mazree, that he, from his whole life too, like from being a small child to being a withered old man. So I think and it's done in a way that everyone can understand. Yeah, I think I would be interested to hear more about Mazree, about what he's all about, because that's a very good introduction to him, as to who he is. So I'm like, yeah, I want to know what happens to him. I want to know what he's going to do. I don't. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot else. I think I would go over, as far as structure and what you're trying to accomplish, and how you're getting him across. I was absorbed in what was happening. I wasn't thinking about. I had a nice picture in my mind going. I was very engaged. I guess the one thing I would do is like clean up a little bit of the phrasing. That's one of the things that I've gotten a lot better at, because I have to say things out loud, is I get my phrasing, I improve my phrasing quite a bit. So, yeah, I would recommend that. So I do thank all of you guys. It's been. I hope you guys enjoyed the thing, the stream. It's been a little quiet. I know previous streams I sort of have things that people get for doing donations and stuff, whether it be I didn't want people to pay me to read their stuff today, so I do appreciate Mazree Newbies for the donation today, but as far as super chats, it's been a little quiet. But I'm not gonna like twist your guys' arm. Like, I understand that, especially with what's going on now, like people are not as able to be free with their money. So I'm hoping that Corona is kind of getting to the end, and people can kind of get back to their normal lives, and we can have different kind of fun. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm glad everyone had fun. I do think I'm probably going to wrap this up here. But I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm going to kind of do final thoughts on writing. No matter where you are in writing, there's always room to improve, and there's always reasons to improve. You sent an email with your drawings in high quality. Remember to check that. I will check that. I'm gonna probably chill out after this. It's funny when I do live streams. Depending on what I'm doing, it can be more taxing on me. Going through I think some of it is like reading things off of a screen is hard. Because I remember when I did the Snotling role play, I was like not tired at all. I could have kept going, but we kind of got to where the end of what I had written. But so final thoughts on writing. The most important thing I think you want to do when you're writing is having the attitude that your story is the most important thing. A lot of people want to write stories and they kind of want praise from other people. Like, I want to write this story and then I want people to tell me it's good. What you kind of need to remove your own ego from it. It's like, it's nice. Like, I'm not trying to be like, don't feel proud of things you've written that people like. Because it is very nice when you guys compliment me and like really enjoy my stories. Like, I enjoy hearing that. But when you're going through the writing process, your primary concern is like, okay, how do I make this better? What can I do to improve myself? What else is there to do? And sometimes you just write something and like it is like complete. So and you're happy with it, and that's you have created something good and pleasant. That's really what I want to encourage people to do, is like put the effort and love and work into getting good at writing, and you can really make something that a lot of people can appreciate and enjoy. So yeah, that's my encouraging is to work at it and to be willing to assess your own work and take kind of what's useful or what's good or what's productive and use that to improve your work. And I hope this was helpful for all of you guys. And I thank you all for well, now you made me want to translate my short story. Good. That's one of the things I want to do with my channel, is to inspire people. That's one of the things that makes me happiest is people, like when people are doing role plays that take place in Deperium, or people make miniatures of Og, or they want to make the 18 Primorcs and the Emperor, or anything like that. Or Eric, you do art for my stuff, like, or people draw characters, the different characters. I've gotten the Emperor. I got Orkgar. Og has been drawn a couple of different times. We got Gallus and Brutus. I can't recall what the artist who did my my logo. They did the Easter Snodius, the first artwork, which I thought was really fun. I actually don't know what name they want me to use for their art stuff, so I'm stuck on their given name, and I don't want to give that out over the internet. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. So yeah, it's like, create something that makes people feel things or think about things or have an experience. There's a lot of stuff that writing can do, that art can do, and I really want to be able to encourage people to get better at expressing themselves and communicating and connecting with other people. So yeah, thank you all for this. Has been a long stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it all. I am gonna go eat something, I think. All right. Have a good day, everyone. Happy Friday. I will be back writing stuff on Monday. I work tomorrow, and then Sunday I rest, as all men should. All good Christian men should. All right. I'll see you. Let's end stream.